Hello fellow viewer, here QcWarChief in Red Dead Redemption 2. Today we are going to talk about the Blood Money update that recently came out for the game. It was meant to bring us some more content, some more stuff to do, but let's be honest, it's not good enough to satisfy the player base that we have right now in Red Dead Redemption. It seems that the game publisher is eager to update GTA and ruin the game for everybody by removing the only glitch that was actually important to the game, and actually doesn't really care much for Red Dead Redemption. It seems like it, because we're not getting... Come on guys, I could have been able to mod that kind of update myself. So if you tell me that you placed 3 dev on that, I'm gonna be insulted. Yeah, definitely you guys are hiring the wrong people. So it's a 3-hey game. We're supposed to get some more content than that, we're supposed to get more stability than that, but yet today we still have many problems, either into the campaign, the NPCs behavior, the servers that spawns without any damn animal, and I'm talking not even a fish to fish around. So what happens when a game is broken like that is that people go straight into PvP, toxicity goes to the roof, and it's not good for the game. So right now, what the game developers could be doing to improve the environment a little bit for their player base is plain and simple. The content is not bad. Blood Money is not bad. Everybody will enjoy the fact that it's more mission, it's more stuff to do inside the game. We can vary a little bit or practice in the game. It's good. It's preventing players from getting bored, usually. The thing is that it's not good enough to keep the whole player base. It's good for the new players coming in, but for the old player base, it's basically just a joke. They will find themselves bored in 1 week and go back into PvP exploiting the same old exploit that needs to be addressed by the developers. I'm talking about Paint in Black and Explosive Bow. Come on guys, this is no PvP stance. This is just a VATS for Red Dead Redemption. We're not in Fallout, for Christ's sake. Let's talk about also the bushes trap. Yes, the bushes traps are part of the game. Let's be honest with that. It's there for a reason, although it's exploit to the point that it's kind of breaking it in PvP a little bit. Too serious, having a better draw distance, hiding in the bushes with Carcano can mess up a whole crew that doesn't really know how to practice PvP. As you can see right now, that's not our case. We know how to practice PvP, and this posse of 7 got messed up really good multiple times for like 15 minutes until they got off. We tried to attack their cell. They managed to sell their cell, so there's no loss there. This was not. This was just plain a PvP fight. We just made it interesting. Although let's not lie to ourselves, we would have stole it if we had the chance. So it brings us with Blood Money, where the same week that Blood Money came out, we are still really into PvP because the game has a lot of stuff to do, but it's not necessarily accessible when you start and you have a low level, so that pushes you into many aspects of the game that you're not necessarily going to be the best, like PvP as example, and it could ruin your night quite easily. Like we may have ruined the night of these people, even though this was just a PvP fight, no money involved. Oh, that was a good kill though. So anyway, Blood Money come out, lots of mission. I'm not gonna deny that. It's just that the draw distance, many of the issues inside the game right now are not fixed. The draw distance, Painted Black is an absolute aimbot. Also, there is Slippery Bastard, and I'm using Slippery Bastard on that scenery, guys. And I'll be honest, Scenery Bastard, the radius is a little bigger. It should be smaller than that. It's meant to be neutralizing the aiming when you get closer to your target. And at some point, it's not normal that I need to stand like 100 feet from my target for it to deactivate. It's way too big. The radius is a lot bigger than it should be. There is many other issues like that. God damn it, I should have probably placed the list, but I'm talking about the draw distance. I'm gonna talk about the mouse and keyboard. This is aberration, complete aberration. On console, this should be heavily prohibited. I mean, come on, if you want to play with the mouse and a keyboard, just buy yourself a computer. Anyway, we're in 2021, everybody should be having a controller, pretty much, a computer at home. It's kind of a... come on, if you want to do a resume, I sure hope that you won't do that on a piece of a napkin. As example. So everybody has a computer today. The mouse and the keyboard should be restricted for the computer. On console, we play on the comfort of a couch with a controller. And anybody that use a mouse and a keyboard will take advantage of that. I don't know when the developers have thought to themselves that mouse and keyboard is the same as controller. Honestly, the controller is a lot harder to manipulate when it comes down to aim, and anybody with a mouse and a keyboard will take the upper hand quite easily. The real fact is that the guy with the keyboard is actually shooting better than the one with the mouse, because if you take the one idiot with the mouse and you give him a controller, that guy is just useless. Plain useless on the battlefield. He's not going to be able to shoot, he's just going to run around and be the most easiest target you can shoot, probably. So this is something that needs to be addressed on by the developers. They need to change stuff like that. Concerning the tonic stacking, well, it's not really stacking. So in my opinion, the tonic is acting like a shield. It's not a broken mechanic. You just need to learn how to use those, unlock the I tier, and produce those as much as possible. We're going to talk about the explosive rounds. Explosive rounds. Ah, god damn it. Isn't it lame to use explosive rounds in battle? Yeah, we do sometimes use explosive rounds, but our group called the Rangers, we usually use express round. We have no interest in using explosive round. They cost too much. They are long to produce. And anyway, if you try to retreat and produce explosive rounds to fight back at us, we're just gonna keep rushing after you and you're gonna get spawn killed or crafting killed. Every time you're gonna try to craft these explosive rounds, we are gonna overwhelm you guys and you won't have the time to produce more than 2, 4, 6. And that's not gonna save your ass on the next run. Learn to use your express rounds. Learn to use every single rounds that you can in the game because they have a purpose. High velocity rounds and express rounds works differently. So you got to adapt yourself to the situation. As example, when I started that PvP fight, I was using slugs on my shotgun. But I was using Slippery Bastard. That was completely awful. A wrong mechanic, not the wrong mechanic, but the wrong application of the mechanic. I should have used the shells. I remember that I switched some point into the battle, but still, the point is that mechanic is there to be played with. The explosive rounds has been placed there for giving a chance to stupid people, bad people in PvP to defend themselves, but that's actually not really good, and most of the time it's used by the griefers. I'm not gonna lie, we had many visitors of a big posse with big levels using big lame explosive. So when you're getting your ass kicked by a guy that has level 100, he use express rounds, and you're level 400 and you still use explosive rounds, ask yourself some question. Am I playing the right game? Am I just pretentiously think I'm good or I'm just bad? Like I said, right now, I'm not necessarily the best player in PvP. I'm learning some stuff. I'm still 100 something. And right now I was testing a close quarter build. Not completely rank up. Was still working nicely though. But if you don't practice PvP, you don't necessarily have the chance to practice your skills. So practice makes perfect. You don't learn to play guitar by looking at it. It goes in the same direction with games. Which brings us back to Blood Money again. Because once again, if you guys see a big PvP fight right now, is because Blood Money was not enough. Everybody enjoyed the content. Nobody's complaining about it. It's not necessarily the best content, but I believe that we're going to be able to enjoy a lot of stuff through that content. In my opinion, I like that aspect. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that we get update and nothing is fixed. And the fact is that this update actually messed up the game even more than it used to. So when you spawn on a server without animals, no weather, weird PvP lagging, like you're at the point you're thinking that this guy is using a lag switch, but no, we're all just lagging. There's something weird with the latency sometimes. And this is, in my opinion, unacceptable for a 3A game. What the game could be doing is adding a little more mechanic on stuff that are already included in the game. As example, the train. Yes, there is an event called the Train Baron, but why could a posse claim a train and make it his base? And at this very moment, that base becomes a heavy spot on the map where every posse see you and see that there is a mobile base on the train that is traveling around. As example, a simple option that you just kill the conductors, you need to go in one wagon and you activate something that will add a wagon with some tools in it, some box and some stuff that you can have delivered. The same way you use a camp, but that you use a train instead. The train needs, in that case, more mechanic. It needs to be able to select the lane, select the railroad when it comes down to a crossroad. It needs to be able to go backward. There is many stuff concerning the train that could be developed that doesn't really need that much of improvement, that much of attention from the developers. It just needs some creativity. Although I feel like sometimes the creativity into the dev room in 2021, and I'm not just talking about Rockstar, it's lacking a lot. I feel like you guys need to be more imaginative a little bit. Especially in Red Dead Redemption game. These games are meant to be played the way you want. So if you restrict the mechanic of your players, it's restricting a lot of stuff in the game. So I would like to be able to claim the train for my posse and use it as a defense camp and mobile camp. This is one option. I would like to be able to place camp up the north. I really like the snowy weather and I like to go hunt there. In the meantime, not much people goes there because most of them will die out of cold, but if you keep eating food, it's not much of a problem. You can keep wander around naked in the snow, it's not the problem. You just need to keep eating. It's gonna go down slowly, but you'll survive without problems. And I would like to have a camp up north. It would be really nice to be able to set up foot there and set up a camp base there. We also need the Mexican to come back. Right, you guys remember in Red Dead Redemption 1, we had the Mexican army and the Mexican frontier. That needs to come back, honestly. We need that back. Why not a small conflicts between those two nations where we can participate? That part of the map has already been designed a long time ago in Red Dead Redemption 1, so this is recyclable. This is something that they can still use and just make it better. So please, Rockstar, consider reopening the southern frontier. I want to go back to Mexico, and I think it's meaningful right now, since we are not exactly at the same place on the timeline, that we reopen that frontier and we create some content with that. In my opinion, that would have been more successful than a Blood Money update 2 years after the release. So yeah, 2 years after the release, we have bounty hunting, we have moonshine, we have a lot of stuff to do in the game, but still not enough to keep up the whole player base from getting toxic sometimes. What the hell you do in a game when you're bored? You start to do PvP and you mess people around. And it's not usually really good for a game. Not everybody plays PvP legitly. I asked my friends not to message toxic stuff to people. Just shoot them in the head, but don't message them. It doesn't go any toxic as long as you stay in the game, because the mechanic is meant to be done this way. We had the right to come and steal these stuff, and we have the possibility to do it, and we tried to did it. This was not toxic. This was part of the game. If one of us would have started messaging them that they are trash, they are dog shit, and yeah, that would have been toxic. That would have become toxic, and it would have started an endless loop of toxicity where they answer, we answer, they answer, we answer, we hate each other, and we have no real reason for that because it's just a video. This is QcWarChief. I tag along a ranger crew that we are, well, we're sometimes honorable, sometimes dishonorable. So it's basically like the rangers, hey? Either you die young a hero or you live long enough to become a villain. Anyway, I hope you guys like the video. Small review concerning blood money, and also in the meantime talking a little bit about PvP. Please subscribe, please like, please come back, and have a good one, everybody.